I was standing at the locked gate of a community pool I'd never even used, clutching a bright yellow invoice from the HOA for unauthorized aquatic activity. Total amount due, $12,248.67. Behind me, Brenda Calloway, the treasurer of the Cypress Hill Lakeside Homeowners Association and self-declared queen of suburban judgment, stood filming me with her iPad like I was a local criminal caught red-handed. She said, with a smile as smug as sunburned entitlement, "If you can't afford it, maybe this neighborhood isn't for you." It was 10 a.m. I hadn't even had coffee yet, and I was now apparently the most wanted water criminal in all of Cypress Hill. To understand how ridiculous this was, you need context. I moved in 3 months ago after inheriting my late Uncle Lou's modest one-story house at the edge of the neighborhood. It's a basic place, weathered siding, overgrown shrubs, and a mailbox that leans just enough to annoy Brenda. This neighborhood is a template for HOA hell. Beige vinyl siding every few houses, plastic flamingos that somehow violate 3 bylaws, and the occasional hand-painted live, laugh, love sign meant to mask the passive aggression baked into every corner. I kept to myself. I paid the dues. I didn't complain when the welcome committee left me 2 stale cookies and a 37-page community handbook. I just wanted peace and maybe some time to figure out what to do with the old house. So when a pink envelope with the word urgent printed in Comic Sans showed up duct taped to my door, I assumed it was a warning about trash bin placement or lawn length. It wasn't. I read the invoice 3 times, certain it had to be a prank. According to the HOA ledger, I'd hosted multiple unauthorized aquatic events involving non-resident minors at the Cypress Hill community pool. In normal human language, someone saw kids in the pool and decided they must be mine. I don't have kids. I don't even babysit. The idea of children unsupervised near any body of water makes my spine itch. If you put me in charge of minors, I'd probably install a drawbridge and a moat just to keep us all safe. But Brenda had decided I was guilty. And when Brenda decides something, facts become optional. I tried to talk to her civilly. She hit me with procedural whiplash. "All appeals must be submitted in writing within 14 days, she said without blinking. Then she handed me a violation booklet with more yellow highlighter than a college biology textbook. I figured maybe it was a mistake, wrong lot number, misfiled incident, something a quick conversation would resolve. I asked for the pool access logs to prove I'd never even used the place. 2 days later, I got a written response. Due to ongoing violations, my access to the pool had been permanently revoked. I never had access to begin with. That's when things got weird. I started taking walks during the day, casually observing the pool. No wristbands, no IDs. Just teenagers hopping the gate like it was tradition. Some even brought in coolers and floaties like they owned the place. Then Marvin happened. He lives across the cul-de-sac. A retired electrician with 2 bad knees and a lawn gnome collection that borders on obsessive. Sweet guy. He asked if I was throwing another one of my nephew's parties at the pool this weekend. My what? Your nephews or whatever. Been having a blast over there lately. That was when it clicked. Someone was using my name, maybe even my address to get access. And I was footing the bill. I went back to my porch camera footage. 3 weeks of video. Mostly uneventful. But one pattern stood out: a golf cart pulled into my driveway nearly every day around noon. Stopped. Then backed out. Brenda's golf cart. She was scouting. I emailed the HOA again asking for the pool logs tied to my lot number. The response? Due to privacy protocols, we are unable to release that information. Really? You can fine me over 12 grand, but you can't show me what I supposedly did wrong? Now I wasn't just irritated. I was activated. I started asking around quietly. It didn't take long to find out Brenda's nephew, Josh, had been spotted several times sneaking into the pool. Sometimes he used an old gate code. Sometimes he just hopped the fence. One day he wore a shirt that read, HOA Board Future President. You can't make this up. So here I was, standing at the gate, locked out, while Brenda filmed me like she'd just caught a fugitive. I asked to see proof, logs, surveillance, anything. You're not entitled to that information, she said, flipping her sun visor down until the board completes its internal review. This wasn't an investigation, I said. It was a setup. My name, my fines, my problem. She rolled off in her cart, tires crunching smugly over gravel. I looked down at the invoice in my hand and made a decision. I was going to war. but not with shouting or signs. I went full paperwork. Legal grade. Deadly boring. Nuclear precise. Step 1. I filed a formal HOA transparency request under the state's Homeowners' Rights Act. Buried in the fine print is a clause that allows homeowners to request financial reports, meeting minutes, and access logs. 10 business days to comply. Day 9, Brenda emailed me, "Unfortunately, we are unable to fulfill your request at this time due to staff limitations." Staff limitations? The HOA staff was Brenda, her friend Colleen, and her nephew Josh, the same one who crashed his electric scooter into the mailbox cluster and blamed it on air pressure. So I forwarded her refusal to the State Housing Commission. Then I filed a complaint. Meanwhile, the trail cam I'd hidden near the pool captured everything. For videos. 3 days. Josh and his friends entering the pool using a code. Same gate I never had access to. In one video, Brenda unlocks the gate herself and hands out sports drinks like she's hosting a summer camp. That one went into a special folder I labeled Armageddon. But I needed more. I visited Marvin and asked if he'd seen the same kids at the pool. "Oh yeah," he said. "That one kid with the fake Oakleys. Said he was staying at your house." Bingo. I asked if Marvin would testify. He said he'd do one better'd come to the next board meeting. Those meetings were usually 10 minutes of Brenda reading statements, Colleen nodding, and Josh pretending to take notes. But this time I came prepared. I printed everything, every fine, every email, every screenshot. Receipts from a business trip to Atlanta the same weekend I was supposedly hosting a party. I even brought my Uber logs. 2 days before the meeting, another envelope arrived, another violation. Brenda tacked on $2,000 for unauthorized surveillance because of the trail cam. I laughed. Desperate. She was losing control. But then, late one night, I got an anonymous email from a Gmail account with no name. Subject: check pool maintenance budget, March-May. Attached was a spreadsheet. At first glance, it looked like a standard budget report. But the numbers didn't add up. Pool chemical supplies, $3,000 in March. $3,200 in April. $3,200 again in May. Invoices from the supplier? $900 per month. Same vendor. Same delivery. Triple reported. Falsified. Fraud. I called the vendor. Roy. Nice guy. Sounded confused when I asked. "No way," he said. "We only bill $900. Been that way since 18. I hung up stunned. This wasn't just abuse of power. This was theft. The night of the meeting, I walked in with a box of binders. Marvin carried a folding chair. Brenda was already seated, pastel scarf and all. She looked up and scowled. "You here to file another complaint?" she asked. "No," I said. "Just here to show some math." I laid out the photos, the emails, the footage. Handed out vendor statements. Color-coded packets. The board president, a man who looked like a retired potato, actually leaned forward for once. "This isn't what we were told?" Brenda tried to interrupt. I cut her off. "I've already filed with the state," I said. "But I figured I'd give you a preview." Marvin added, "You folks messed with the wrong neighbor." Brenda's face drained of color. She didn't know I had one more piece. In the last binder behind the spreadsheets was an email she'd accidentally forwarded to the HOA Google group. It had been deleted quickly, but not before I saved it. Subject line: covering pool overages. Body: just tag it to lot 47 again. He won't fight it. Lot 47. My house. I looked right at her. Still think I'm not entitled to transparency? She didn't respond. 2 days later, the board froze all fines and launched an internal audit. A week later, I got a call from Carla Ramirez at the County Fraud Division. She was calm. Methodical. Asked for everything. I gave her everything. Footage. Email chains. Voice memos. Vendor quotes. It was out of my hands, and finally it was moving fast. I anonymously posted redacted screenshots in the community Facebook group. Ever wonder where your HOA fees go? The post exploded. Dozens of comments. Some defended Brenda. Others were outraged. A few asked if they could join my legal action. One former board member messaged me privately. Denise. She resigned 2 years ago when Brenda started holding secret meetings. She had copies of old budgets. One showed a landscaping bill paid to Hillside Services, Brenda's brother's company. Double the market rate. I added it to the file. Then I requested a full member HOA meeting. They had to approve it. Bylaws. 2 weeks later, the clubhouse was packed. Folding chairs, lawn chairs, people sitting on the floor. I opened by saying, I was fined over $12,000 for pool usage. But I never had the code. Gasped. Then I handed out the packets. Color-coded. With labels like falsified invoices, nepotism in contracting, access logs discrepancy. I showed the video. I played the voicemail from Roy. I read the email about Lot 47. Then I turned to Brenda. She didn't speak. The room erupted. Wait, we paid triple for chlorine? When did they vote on this? We need a recall vote. Brenda stood, muttered something about ungrateful neighbors, and stormed out. Marlene, her friend, followed. 2 days later, a new board was elected. Brenda and Marlene were removed. The $12,248 fine? Erased. The lien threat? Rescinded. They even issued a formal apology and paid me $6,000 for legal costs. I took it not for the money, but for the record. Now I have pool access again. And last Saturday? I went. Sunglasses. Float tie. Lounge chair. Marvin grilled hot dogs. One teenager approached me and said, "You're the guy, right? The one who made the pool free." I nodded. He handed me a soda. "My mom said you're the reason we get to swim." I didn't know what to say. Later that week, I got a letter from Marlene. An actual apology. No threats. No spin. Just, "I'm sorry. I was wrong." I framed it. Next to the original fine. Next to the photo of Brenda's nephew jumping the fence. The HOA tried to make me the scapegoat. Instead, they made me the reason they collapsed. I never wanted to be the neighborhood hero. But sometimes justice wears sunglasses and holds a clipboard. And sometimes, petty wins big.